Right, so I am trying to see if it's possible to clean carbon deposits off engine components, including the DPF, diesel particulate filter, using Mr. Muscle oven cleaner. I've read a lot up about it on the internet, and it says it don't apply this to aluminium. However, people have tested it and it doesn't seem to cause a massive amount of damage. Even after a long exposure, sort of like 3 hours. This is a part that I don't need. It's an EGR valve for a BMW 330D. My actual application is DPF cleaning. So the plan is to inject that stuff in the one of the sensor ports just before the DPF, leave it for a couple of hours, run the engine to blow it through, do it again maybe 2 or 3 times, and see what happens. But I wanted to test first to see how effective it is. So there's some genuine, as you can see, it's coming off my fingers, really thick deposits of carbon here. Unfortunately, I've already cleaned the inside of this, if you can see, which was done with brake cleaner. And it was horrendous in here. It was about 5mm thick down the bottom there. It's now pretty much gone. There's a bit back there, but the condition's pretty good. I'm gonna squirt it in here as well and see what happens. So if this works, it works. If it doesn't, well, I'll have to take the DPF off. So let's just try spraying it all over here. I have no idea if this is going to work. This is why I'm testing it, and I thought I might as well do a YouTube video, because if it does work, well, these things cost hardly anything. I think I paid £5 for 2. So I'm just going to give this a nice good coat. Obviously, realistically, you should be using gloves for this. But so I'm just getting a good nice coat in there, if you'd focus. Just want to see really how effective this stuff is. This comes up lovely with the bubbles though. You can really easily see where you have and haven't got. And already you can see, so I'm not doing the best job with the camera here, already you can see that it is actually, oh man, I did say keep the bottle upright at all times. Said keep spraying this stuff and keep shaking the bottle. Right, so let me just try and get in that last little bit here. It's actually seems to be coming off very easy off my fingers. Just wiping it on the floor, which is a good sign. Squirt loads in there. And you can see out the actual, so that's the action I want as well. I want that in the DPF to bubble up and push its way hopefully through the DPF. So that's good, but you can actually see the discoloration on the foam already, which to me suggests that it is. You can actually see the streaks. That's quite interesting. As that is bubbled out of that blocked entrance there to the EGR valve, that's the actual valve port itself. You can see it's actually streaked almost instantaneously, so it is quite clearly effective. Right, so I'm going to leave this now for about I don't know, an hour, and wash off and see what happens. Okay, so it's been sitting for about an hour and a half now. Actually, I had to do something else. It's been a while. You can see it's kind of like turns the oil and stuff into almost like a sludge. The foam has kind of shrunk back down, and any that is there has gone dark, and then you can definitely see some metal. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to wash it off with a warm water. See what happens. You can see it is sticking to my gloves still. Just with, we'll see what happens. So that's flaking off there relatively well. Just see how much black is coming off that. This is hot water. As you can see, a bit of steam coming up there. Okay. Well, wow. Okay. Let's just drain that out a minute. I'll show you on the camera. So, I don't know if you remember, that there was completely black. Can I turn the light on while I'm... Right. That. Remember last time we were looking at this, and this in here was jet black. You could not see the end of that, and that is now, I mean, considering I've only just washed that, I've not scrubbed it or anything, that is crystal clear. So inside here, you could not see any, the bare metal was not this clean at all before. Sorry, the steam is actually fogging up my lens. So here you can still see there's a remnants, and on the here, and I'm thinking maybe that was a thicker layer, or maybe I didn't quite get enough on there. But the rest of it, I mean it's still quite caked on there, but it is a noticeable improvement. I mean, considering I haven't actually applied any brushing, literally just rinsed. I'm sure this probably, I mean look at that. If I just rub that on my finger a minute, see what happens. Okay, so it's still on there. You can feel it's still greasy. So that is, but look at this sludge, look at that. That is, I mean, it's so thick on there. I mean, look at that. So where is, I probably need to retreat this. Now I'm looking at this like you are the first time, and if I can get that to focus, it looks like there's tiny bits of pitting on this. Now this is an aluminium block, and you can see this strange sort of pattern discoloration. See where it's like light silver and dark silver. So I actually think that what they do say on the packet of Mr. Muscle, that it does actually corrode aluminium, is very true. I mean, I've not seen the original surface of this, but that pattern looks like anodizing to me. Aluminium anodizing, where it's got lots of little dimples in the surface. And it was otherwise there before, from the casting process, which it could be. I mean, this is the outside, it is that kind of dimpled, or it could be the attacking of that Mr. Muscle. It's hard for me to say for sure, but it doesn't look very deep. It is a bit rough, but it's not horrendous. You probably wouldn't advise doing this too many times, you know. But I mean, it hasn't got rid of absolutely everything, but I reckon if you got that on a little brush on there, a bit of detergent, that would probably get the rest of that off, because it is definitely just turns the carbon to a sludge, which probably would be much more easy for the engine to break down and to shift. And that in there, I mean, that is the proof of the pudding, because that was black and that was just carbon deposits, and now that is, that is literally like new. But yeah, so I would say, to be perfectly honest, that has actually been quite a success. I don't know what I was expecting, but this is something I will try with my DPF. If it doesn't work, I'll have to take it off and get it professionally cleaned. Hopefully there's not been any sort of lasting damage. If it works, then, you know, my DPF should be back to life for another 100,000 miles, and by that time the car won't be around. So yeah, well, hopefully you've learned something as well as me watching this video, and I'll hopefully do another